So I picked me up some nostalgia for me. Really, this is what this is, nostalgia. I'm not playing in second edition around here, my locality, because, let's face it, if you don't want to play online, and I don't, I can't even figure out Discord. I can barely figure out TikTok. What am I talking about? But if you don't want to play online and you're looking to play live in local and with someone, you go with what's going local, right? So what's going local is 5e. But second edition is my love. I've talked about that before. And this was one I picked up. I had this, and I talked about this whole thing before. I had a whole set, and then I moved, and I sold everything, and blah, blah, blah. A lot of people, like a lot of people, I'm rebuilding my collection. But Psionics and the Psionicist was a class that I liked at the time. I never got a chance to really play it. I was kind of a forever DM, and then at the time this stuff started coming out, I was kind of doing some convention work, writing and running games at conventions and stuff like that. So I really didn't spend a whole lot of time actually playing per se. But I liked it for a couple of different reasons. It intrigued me, I should say. Maybe I didn't like it. Maybe I didn't play it, so maybe I couldn't like it. But it certainly intrigued me for a couple of different reasons. Number one is just sort of the novelty of it at the time. You're playing a lot of Magic, and this was a little bit different, but sort of magic effects, if you will, with this. The randomness of it to some degree. If you're not familiar with it, this is a psionicist, basically mental powers, telekinetics, telekinesis, and all those kinds of things you just do with your mind. Kind of like magic with the mind. But each one of the powers that you have was tied to one of your 6 characteristics, ability scores, and you had a roll to see whether or not you were successful. You had a pool of points, sort of like wizards and clerics had a pool of spells, and other magic users had a pool of spells. You had a pool of points, and you had used those points with which to pick, like Control Light was one of the scores, and it cost you 12 psionic points in order to do this. But it didn't just automatically happen like with some magic. What happened is you had a roll, and for Control Light, it was against your intelligence. And if you rolled your intelligence or lower, the power worked. And if you rolled high, it did not. And that still cost you half, I think it was, of the psionic points. But there was a chance that it didn't work. And so the idea that you could try this and fail was intriguing to me because, with most spellcasters, hey, I'm a cleric, I'm going to cure wounds. Okay, boom, it's done. There's no chance of failure. But with this character, it was sort of like if you had one of these characters, there was a chance that things did not happen the way you expected them to. And then, of course, there's a whole chapter in here on sort of wild psionics, like things could go really awry if you didn't succeed. So, like I said, I never got a chance to play it, but this was something that was on my radar to get so that I could sort of reminisce. And I poured over this book a lot. Like I said, even though I didn't play, didn't get a chance to, I poured over this book a lot when I was younger. And so this is definitely on my nostalgia list, I guess you'd say. So for any of the second edition folks, if you've played a Psionicist, I'd be curious to hear your experience and how well you enjoyed that.